Hi, this is Circus Fit. I'm Carrie, and this is part one of my straight arm straddle inversions tutorial. In order to do straight arm straddle inversions, your bent arm straddle inversions should be very strong already. These first exercises we're going to do on the floor, working on the order of operations of our straddle inversion. What is stabilizing and what is moving? It's important to warm up your straddle and your core a little bit before you start doing these exercises. We're gonna move up into a pike, a reclining pike, into straddle, just 10 times to get warmed up, thinking about pointing our toes and straightening through our knees and a nice slicing through the air. From here, we're just gonna open up and pulse our legs down towards the floor to get a nice, strong straddle. From here, we're gonna lift our legs up a little bit and move into our star position. Find our hollow body. If you want, for a moment, you could lift up into a hollow body star and bring your head back to the floor. Lift your legs up back to straddle, and then lift your legs up and move into your straddle pike. Take your hands onto your legs and pull your legs a little more into your straddle pike here. So your toes are reaching towards the floor on either sides of your shoulders. Nice stretch there. Now we're just gonna do that 3 times. So we're coming into our regular straddle. We lift up into star, lift back up into straddle, lift back up into our straddle pike, back to straddle. As you go, you could lift up your legs a little bit less, so you're moving a little bit more in a circular fashion from straddle to star, back to straddle, into your pike. Notice where your pike straddle end range is. My butt is on the floor, my knees are straight, my toes are pointed, and I'm trying to pike my straddle as much as I possibly can without lifting my butt. That's my end range there. Now we're gonna take the full range of motion through my straddle, through my star, all the way with my legs together, holding my hollow body, and then open all the way back to my straddle pike, keeping my butt on the floor 3 times. There's 3. From here, I'm gonna hold my straddle pike so my legs cannot move away from my body. My legs stay close to my body, nice and long. My arms are not gonna help me, and I'm just gonna lift my booty off the floor and round my lower spine, bringing my toes towards the floor behind me. As I lower my booty down, my legs stay in my straddle pike. We're gonna do 10 of these. That was 4, 5. I'm not using my arms. 6, 7, this is just my lower body. 8, 9, 10. Take a little break and move it around, move your legs around in a way that feels really good. Woo, that's hard work. So now I know my end range of both my straddle pike and the ability to lift my booty off the floor without using my arms. At this point is where I'm gonna start engaging my lats and rounding my spine all the way up into my inversion. So we can reach our arms over our head. So now I'm going to go into my straddle pike, into my end range here of lifting my butt. That's when I'm gonna start to pull with my arms to lift my butt all the way up. So a few ways we can look at this. My arms can come down to my sides, and that's where I'm gonna push with my lats. Again, I'm gonna come to my end range here, push with my arms, and lift my butt, booty up over my head. And as I roll back down, I'm gonna find that place where I don't need my arms anymore, right about here, and then roll down using my core. Again, lifting up, then using my arms to push and lift up high, and then using my arms to lower, and when I don't need my arms anymore, I lower without my arms. That's version 1. When you feel like you've mastered that, then you can start to do it with your arms overhead. I recommend grabbing a very dense or very strong resistance band and using this to support. So I'm gonna go nice and long so that I have a lot of resistance on my band so that I can't really pull. I can't really go farther than this because I have so much resistance. And this is gonna help me to start engaging my lats at the time where I reach my end range of my lower body. So here, I'm gonna find my hollow body. I'm gonna move through my whole range. Now lifting my booty, and this is the point where I need to pull with my lats. I'm gonna pull on my band to lift my booty all the way up, and then I'm gonna reach long as I come down, and then I can move through my whole range of motion. I'm not gonna pull with my arms too early. I'm gonna work my lower body like we have been, and then when I have to, pull with my arms to reach the whole shape upside down, and then roll it down and release, and my arms when I don't need them anymore. Let's do a set of 5 to 10 of these. If you can't get your booty all the way up, in this position, bring your hands back down to your sides and push with your arms that way. Both ways we're engaging our lats. If you don't need the band, you can do it without the band and still feel like you're rounding through your upper back at that same time that you would pull with the band. Here I'm gonna round through my upper back, and that's gonna help me lift my whole lower body over my head. Last one here. Isn't that fun? Okay, let's talk about shoulder placement for our long arm straddle inversions. We have two different places, our starting point and our ending point. Our starting point will be arms overhead. In this position, we want to be using our scap wrap, our shoulder blades wrapping around the sides of the ribs, and external rotation. We want to allow for a little bit of upward rotation of the shoulder blade, and we're not hanging with our lats engaged. We're hanging with our shoulder stabilizers engaged and nice long shoulders here. So this is the position that we're going to start our movement in with our shoulders. And then as we start to engage our lats and pull down, we do want to find a little bit of rounding through the spine, right? So I'm going to round through that upper spine as I start to engage my lats. As my arms come down, I'm going to start to widen my shoulders in the front and the back and come into this nice wide shoulders so that my shoulder blades are depressed down and my shoulders are being wide in the front and the back, right? And so the difference between the invert, so say I'm upside down in my straddle invert, I want to widen my shoulders and not let them round. And then as I'm coming back into my upright, into my revert, I'm going to wrap my scapula around the ribs, and I can find a little rounding through my spine as you go into it. And then when I get to this final position, my lats are no longer engaged, but my shoulder stabilizers are, and I'm hanging in this nice straight position, as straight as my shoulders can get. Part 2 of straight arm straddle inversions for aerialists. Now we're going to get on our apparatus and do some drills that will help you get your straight arm straddle inversions, and if you already have them, make them stronger. Now we're going to look at the position I call kill the bug. It's at the top of our straddle inversion. So you can imagine that you have a bug on the outsides of your wrists, and you're going to kill that bug between your groin and your wrist. So you need pressure from both sides. I'm going to push my wrists into my groin, and I'm going to lift my groin into my wrists at the same time. So it's not just my arms, it's not just my booty, it's pushing both at the same time. Imagining you're killing a bug in between on either side on those parts. Making sure not to roll your shoulders forward, but to pull them down and wide here. So this is what position I call kill the bug. Now let's do it in our invert. So I'm gonna take my fabric. If you want, I like to sometimes double wrap my wrists here so I don't have to think about my hand grip, and I'm really focusing on the kill the bug position. I'm gonna go upside down into my straddle and find that kill the bug. So right now, I'm kind of sagging and my spine is rounding. I'm gonna lift and straighten my spine and see if I can focus on killing that bug between my wrists and my groin. My shoulders are nice and wide, my spine is straight, the top of my head is reaching towards the floor, my butthole is reaching towards the sky, and that's the position. So that's the top of our straight arm inversion. In fact, that's the top of our bent arm inversion as well. Super important position to get strong with. So now another strengthening drill that we can do is lowering from our pencil position into the kill the bug. I also call that position poop on the ceiling because your butthole is facing straight up to the sky, and that helps to tip our pelvis into that position that's more like a hollow body. So I'm gonna go from my pencil, nice and straight, shoulders are wide, chest is wide, and then open through my legs. Use my glutes to straddle my legs, and then I'm gonna arrive here in the kill the bug position. If you have the strength, you can try to reverse that, coming back up into your pencil. I'm gonna do that one more time. From my pencil, my feet go first, I'm squeezing my butt, and then I'm gonna go right into that kill the bug position. So remember that kill the bug, poop on the ceiling position is the top of our straddle up. Now we're gonna go backtrack and go to the beginning of our straddle up and work on that position with our arms. So again, I'm gonna double wrap my wrists so that I have a little bit more support with my hands while I do this exercise. I'm gonna find my position where I'm hanging from my arms. I'm scap wrapping and externally rotating, but I'm not turning on my lats. I'm hanging nice and long. I also wanna make sure that my ribs are pulled in, so I'm nice and long through my back, yeah? And then from here, these are my 4 exercises that I like to do to strengthen this position without engaging my lats. So my arms stay in a stabilized shoulder position. And now I'm gonna do 3 to 5 lifts, knees up, just tiny little movements of the knees. Then I'm gonna hold my tuck and do 3 to 5 little tuck lifts. The third movement is straddle to pike, 3 to 5 straddle pikes, trying to hold my shoulders stable. Then the fourth one is gonna be 3 to 5 little tuck, straddle, tucking of the tailbone. Let's look at that on the floor. So those 4 movements on the floor, which I highly recommend practicing. Here my arms are overhead, I'm scap wrapped and I'm reaching my arms long. I'm stabilizing through my core. And then I'm just gonna bring my toes to the floor and lift my knees, keeping my butt on the floor 3 to 5 times. Then I'm gonna hold my knees into the tuck position and round my spine 3 to 5 times. The next one is going for my pike to straddle 3 to 5 times. And then the last one is straddle little lifts. Look familiar? 3 to 5 times. Same movement that we do on the fabric, we can do on the floor to help train the lower body. Because the point of this exercise is to use our lower core or our lower body and our leg strength combined with our shoulder stability strength so that we're not overusing our pull muscles. This final exercise is going to bring us from the top of the straddle up and start to roll us down with straight arms. And then roll us back up again. I call this exercise slide the blood. So remember when we were killing the bug between our wrists and our groin? Now we're gonna feel like we're sliding the blood down our legs and up our arms. So it's so graphic. So from here, the movement is going to be like I'm sliding the blood of the bug up my arms and down my legs. And when I do that, I'm going to retain that straddle compression, that straddle pike position. So I'm not gonna let my legs come away from me. I'm gonna keep that straddle pike and keep that connection of my arms to my legs. So I'm gonna go back upside down into my straddle inversion, and I can get there from the pencil or I could just straddle up. Here I go, I'm gonna straddle up. Here's the kill the bug position. Then from here, I'm gonna start to round my spine and slide the blood up my arms and down my legs. Meanwhile, externally rotating and starting to round my upper back as well. Then I'm gonna slide the blood back up. That was a pretty big range of motion. I recommend starting small. I'm gonna round my spine and start to slide down. My shoulder blades are starting to come apart a little bit. As I come back up, I wanna squeeze so that my shoulder blades are wide but not rounded. So I'm not rounded here, I'm wide and connected. And then I'm gonna start to round my spine. I start to round my upper back as well, to slide the blood, and then come back each time all the way up to vertical so that I'm with my spine straight and my shoulders engaged nice and wide. So with all of these pieces together, the slide the blood exercise eventually brings you all the way back upright, and then adding those exercises that we did with long arms will help get us back up again. I'm going to show you the whole range of motion that you're going to work up to, and it's going to take you a few months to work up to this. So in the meantime, make sure you can do slide the blood 3 to 5 repetitions without failing. So set yourself up for success. When you do your slide the blood, don't slide so low that you can't get back up again. Slide only so low that you can get back up again with about, let's say, 5 reps, right? And then little by little, you'll be able to slide lower and lower and lower and lower until you come all the way upright and then go back up again. I'll show you what I mean. So eventually the full expression of the movement will look like this. I can come up from my pencil to my straddle, kill the bug or poop on the ceiling. I'm gonna slide the blood, start rounding, sliding the blood between my arms and my legs, and then I might get to the bottom where I can stop and come all the way back up again. And then this time I might see, I think I can go even lower. I'm gonna come all the way, maybe I come all the way to this position and then go back up again, engaging my lats, right? And then I could come all the way into straight arms overhead. From here, this is where I let my legs come down, legs come up, roll, and now engage my lats to lift me all the way up. Woo, that was hard. Notice my shoulder blades aren't rounded here. They're nice and wide. These exercises are meant to be done regularly 2 to 3 times a week for over a long period of time. You're not going to see results right away, so take it nice and slow. It might take you several months to get to the point where you're doing a full straight arm inversion. If you're already doing straight arm inversions and you're trying to clean them up or make them stronger, still follow the same exercises and really fine tune each exercise. Notice where you're weak, notice where you're strong, notice if you're super strong in one position, usually your lats, and you're overusing them, and see if you can even it out a little bit and get stronger through your stabilizers and your lower core and your legs. And I hope to see you sometime soon here at Casa Chango.